Hello, my sweet summer children. I'm back with the juice to get you through the long night. And today I have a special treat for you. We're going to be sleuthing over American Horror Story. And I have with me American Horror Story super fan, John. John, would you like to tell the people who you are and where you're from?
Yeah, I'm John. I'm from England. Um, a massive American Horror Story fan, but I think I'm more your fan as well. So it's a, like in between kind of things.
Well, I'm glad you keep me up to date on the American Horror Story stuff. Like you will slide into the DMs like, "Gray, did you see this yet?" And I'm like, "Yes, I love it."
Well, at least you know I'm not sliding in the DMs with anything bad.
Yeah, no, no. So, the last video I did some theorizing on what double feature, which is American Horror Story season 10 is going to be about. We talked about it and I think we came up with some interesting stuff. Um
Definitely.
So we talked about the possibility. So when Ryan Murphy posted this picture, it's had was captioned under it, "Something wicked this way comes." It's a picture of Leslie Grossman and Macaulay Culkin. And you sent me a book called "Something Wicked This Way Comes." So I didn't have time to read the whole book, but I read the cliff notes and I also read like the themes of the book, which was
hmm
kind of interesting. But basically, the book is about a carnival, like a traveling carnival that comes to like a seaside, well, not a seaside town. It's actually in the middle of America. It's in rural America, like in the Midwest, in Illinois. And the carnival comes and like there's a dude there, like a Mr. Dark, and Mr. Dark is kind of like a genie type of person. Like, I don't know, he's dark and malevolent and he like grants wishes and enslaves people with with their last wish or some shit. Like he makes them do shit that they don't want to do and he doesn't tell them until their last wish. So I know you had some ideas about that, about like the carnival theme.
Well, if we go from the carnival theme, why don't we think about the first thing to think of when you think carnival? You think AHS Freak Show.
Yeah.
So is it going to be a link into Freak Show and it's going to be around the same era, which you would put back into when was it? The 60s,
The 60s.
50s?
The
Yeah.
60s.
So is it going to be set in the 60s time straight away? Also, with the carnival, my first thought when I saw carnival is it comes in and out of town. So is it there every so often? Does it stay there? And does it every time it's there, does it cause trouble for the local town? Are they doing something? So it's just a bit like, oh, is it
Yeah,
a
like,
bad traveling cloud circus or what?
well, this book actually was written in the 60s. So if they are like doing some kind of spin-off on this book, or if they are using this, because in 1984, for 1984, Mr. Jingles was actually a movie.
hmm
But Mr. Jingles was based on a movie. Like there was a movie called Mr. Jingles where someone was framed and came back for revenge, just like in 1984. So I think like this could really be a thing. And I know we were talking about like this traveling carnival, like coming to a seaside town and it being every like so many years that it comes.
hmm
And I know we had talked about it, like
Yeah.
Stephen King's It, possibly something like that where like there's a monster that feeds every 15 years or every
Say if
so.
it was it, we could say if it's a double feature, does the first season of the said double feature do they destroy the monster, and in the second season does it come back, or is it like gonna feed off the children like it? It's very few possibilities it could go down with.
Yeah, and another interesting thing is the monster that Steven Novick was cast. Well, I don't know what he's cast to play, but it looks like a monster by the movements he's doing. And then he says, "I'm gonna kill you," and it's really fucking creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it could totally be the Black Flash. So a lot of people think it's the Black Flash, and one of the ways the Black Flash is described is it makes a buzzing noise. And I don't know if you ever saw the movie Jeepers Creepers. Have you ever saw Jeepers Creepers?
Yep.
Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Well,
Peepers.
yeah, that that beast actually comes every so many years and it makes
Yep.
a buzzing noise. So I was wondering, like, is this Black Flash gonna be a beast that like comes every so many years and maybe tie into the carnival, maybe tie in, and maybe the carnival somehow ties into Freak Show. Now, the reason I think that I feel like it's gonna tie into some previous seasons because Apocalypse was going to be titled Double Feature before it was titled Apocalypse.
Yep.
So we know Apocalypse featured Murder House and Coven. So I feel like this one is going to be similar. This one is could feature two different previous seasons.
Also, don't forget, Apocalypse held hotel as well.
Yeah, and Hotel.
So I would the first thing I thought of when I seen the Instagram post with the vampire teeth, I immediately thought of the Countess from Hotel.
Mhm.
And then I seen the teeth were really different though. They were more like Nosferatu, they were more like mermaids. And then he showed the whole sea and sand intro when
Mhm.
he did the cast reveal. So I thought to myself, in simplest terms, if it's going to be a dual feature or a double feature, my apologies, if it's going to be a double feature, is one part of it going to be out at sea and one part of it going to be on the sand?
I mean, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I would love to see like a sea, like on a ship type of. So we know that like they're shooting right now in
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood or in LA. So I don't know, like, would we know if they were shooting on a ship? Like, would we
Not really,
know?
because it could be done indoors.
Yeah, like on a set.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because like with Game of Thrones, like we never saw them shooting like Daenerys on all those ships with Euron, like all that shit was shot
Exactly.
inside.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that makes sense. Like I know a lot of people are thinking aliens, but I like
I've got
maybe
a note here about the aliens, and on the note, I've got how would they tie it into Asylum, and how would they have it in this way? Well, Asylum to then kid walk as kids would have grown up a bit.
mhm,
So are they going to link it into them? And then with the other side of the aliens, I let my mind go a bit further. You see,
mhm,
it went well. We've already discussed it, and it's an alien.
mhm.
So is this alien going to be different to the ones from Asylum? And the ones from Asylum are actually going to kind of verse this alien. And it's going to be one that's for humanity and one that's going to be a hindrance against them. Because if it's a double feature, there's
Ah.
uh you've got two aliens, one for and one for against. And then that means you'll have two heroes, two villains. So they're going to separate it all like that. And then at the end, your mind's just going to be like, oh, I did not see that coming.
Yeah, that would be actually I would like that. Um, I do know that Briarcliff Asylum is in Massachusetts, right?
Oh, I don't know that one, but I can have a Google.
I think it is. Like, I think it's in rural Massachusetts. Um, so it's in the same state.
Mhm. That that
So
would be interesting.
1964.
So they won't have grown up that much then.
Yeah, they wouldn't have grown. It would be basically taking off. It would basically be picking up right kind of where Briarcliff left off. I really think it's the 70s, but if it's the
Mhm.
late 60s, early, and I think it's the 70s because of the clothes and because of that line from AHS 1984. But we don't know for sure that that line is the clue. He just said that
Yeah.
there's a clue in there somewhere.
Because back in the 70s, all anyone cared about was Bigfoot and aliens, the Loch Ness Monster, all that Leonard Nimoy in search of shit.
Well, something else to link it to the ship because I've had that image of Leslie and McCarthy in my head all day, and I've
Hmm.
been thinking, what would they be doing like that? And then it came to us. They dressed up like that, all extravagant and everything. And it reminded us of the Titanic when the rich people got on first.
Oh, yeah. And they're carrying bags.
Uh-huh. So are they about to go on a ship?
Ooh, that would be so interesting if it's like a fucking haunted cruise ship or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then like it somehow gets attacked by like pirates and mermaids. Oh
I
my
just love
God.
how your mind works. Like, right, they're on a ship, so they're gonna immediately get attacked by pirates and mermaids and
And a cat and a ghost crew.
the crew's been dead the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, well, the reason I was thinking sirens before, like when you sent me the teeth, I thought
Mm-hmm.
sirens, I thought mermaids. And more specifically sirens because it looked like Ryan Murphy had followed Ariana Grande on Instagram. And I
Mm-hmm.
think he had also followed Lana Del Rey. Both of them
Ooh.
are very incredible singers. And what do sirens do? They sing. They sing, and their victims come to their singing.
That's interesting.
I
I've
mean,
got some questions for you, Gray.
sure.
So, in the whole AHS universe, who are your top five characters?
Oh God. The whole AHS universe.
Yep.
Let's see. Um, top 5 in the whole AHS universe. I'm gonna say I really liked Tate from Murder
Mm-hmm.
House. I really like Madison Montgomery.
Oh, I love Madison.
Really I loved Fiona Good. I loved Fiona Good. And I
Fiona was the baddest bitch around, and she wouldn't have put up with Michael's tomfoolery.
n- not at all. I loved Marie LeBeau. Like I'm gonna fucking name the whole fucking cast of the Coven because that's my favorite season. Um, let's see. And my fifth one is probably Jimmy Darling.
Oh my god, yes.
I love Jimmy Darling.
Well, my top five would be hmm, gotta throw Pepper in there.
Oh yeah, Pepper. Mm-hmm.
Gotta throw Pepper. A backstory breaks my heart.
It's so sad.
Um, who else? I'm gonna try and not name all the Coven witches. um, I've got to say Miriam from
Mm-hmm.
Apocalypse,
Mm-hmm.
and I've also got to say Laura Ray.
Mm-hmm.
I'm allowed to say one witch from Coven, so I'm gonna go with Cordelia.
Yeah.
No, scratch that, scratch that. If I'm only having one witch, it's going to be Myrtle.
Myrtle. Myrtle is iconic.
Balenciaga.
She is iconic. I love I like Misty Day. Like I like all of them.
Mm-hmm.
All of it. It's so hard to pick. Like I was torn between Jimmy Darling and Misty Day, but I gotta go with Jimmy Darling. But I mean,
The Countess as well.
oh yeah,
Don't.
Gaga. Come on,
Yeah.
it's Gaga.
You gotta get Gaga for Gaga.
Yes, you just like it. Just is what it is. So, did you look at that post that I had put where it looked like those two topics were kind of blurry
Mm-hmm.
in that poll? The two topics were sirens and aliens.
Bitch, what's to say that the sirens aren't actually aliens?
Right.
And that's double feature all over again.
And that's a double feature. And that ties in urban legends. So just
Mhm.
because they're doing, like, say they're doing urban legends, like sirens are an urban legend. Aliens are the unexplained. So it would fit with that theme. And it would fit with the clue being in that episode if that's the clue. If
I
the
will excuse the elephant in the room, though. I do. One of my favorite seasons, if not Coven, and you've just said that about yours as well. Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't want the witches back yet.
You don't want to get tired of the witches. But
Exactly.
I feel like, how do you do shit in Salem, or not Salem, but in Massachusetts, in Salem country, in witch country, and not include witches? I would like to see not the same witches, like
Mhm.
different witches, like not Cordelia, not like the Supreme. Well, it wouldn't even be like Cordelia wouldn't even be born yet.
Young Fiona might be, though, mightn't she?
Yeah, young Fiona. Actually, I think it's in the 70s that Fiona kills the headmistress. Hold on. Let me
Ah.
look this up. So for the Coven backstory, it says from 1961 to 1971, the witches of Salem Coven found a new enemy in the form of a voodoo tribe led by Marie Laveau, the voodoo queen. This sparked an ongoing feud that lasted for about 10 years, motivated in part by racial tension between the two groups. The bloody conflict finally came to an end when Marie Laveau and the Supreme Anne Lee Layton signed a truce that entitled neither of their sides crossing into others' territory. Shortly after the truce was declared, Anne Lee was brutally murdered by Fiona Good in her endeavor to become the next Supreme. So Fiona Good killed Anne Lee Layton in 1971.
Mm-hmm.
So
And she would have been the Supreme in the 70s.
it would have been a young Fiona when she was the Supreme.
I've
What
just
if
said I wouldn't like the witches, but I would like that.
Leslie Grossman is playing young Fiona?
No. That
Could
would
she play young Fiona?
no.
And
She's not sassy enough.
Macaulay Culkin is playing young Spalding. That's Fiona and Spalding. No, that's like too
You've
far.
just blew up the internet.
That's too far out there.
That needs to go in the recording though, because oh my god.
So, I don't know. What are your overall thoughts on, like, people were mad about the title, like double feature. They were like, "What the fuck is this?" I personally didn't mind it. Like, it doesn't tell us anything really.
My overall thoughts: double feature, 2 seasons within one. You and it keeps coming back to the sand in the sea for me.
Yeah.
And I think the sand is going to be a literal term of land, and
Mhm.
it's going to be a seaside town, whether it's going to be the traveling carnival, because something wicked this way comes along with the Instagram post and that book. It's just too much is adding up towards that way.
Yeah.
And I think the sea is going to be either creatures or something along the lines of mythology based. And it's either going to be local to the area or it's going to be something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Because, but I think it's going to be an episode. Say in episode one, it might open up with the sand, but episode two is technically episode one of the sea. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it'll flow like that. And then about episode 8, 9, they might start meeting in the middle. And the
Mm-hmm.
folk, the bad thing of the sea is against the bad thing of the sand. And then our people are in the middle of it.
Ooh, I like that. My initial, like, after I, like, my assessment after I looked at everything that I possibly could find was that they might be doing this theme of hysteria in both episodes, like hysteria in the past, hysteria in the future, like how like it drives people like insane. In
Mm-hmm.
the book that you sent me, so I looked up like the themes of the book because I didn't have time to read it. But one of the themes is belief and fear. And on Wiki, it just says the novel also conveys the theme that the power of people, objects, and ideas have over you depends on the power you instill in them with your own mind. Because of this, the carnival is able to easily take advantage of the common human fears of aging, death, and loneliness, which everyone has or relates to. But basically, the concept of exploitation of fear. And I feel like that's how hoaxes and hysteria and urban legends are even formed. Fear and the belief in fear. Like the belief, like if you hear a urban legend, it's only scary if you believe it.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't believe it, it's not scary.
But something's just popped in my head there. That post that we found on Instagram
Mhm.
where them two shadowy figures are walking down the street.
Mhm.
What happens if they're just normal people and they've had the happiness, age, and life sucked out of them?
I mean, it very well could be.
Because that's just popped in my head while you were talking about that.
You know who they look like to me? Like they remind me of Uncle Fester from the
Mm-hmm.
Addams Family. And he was like harmless.
They also made us think. I don't know if you've seen Charmed before.
Yeah, I've seen some of
The,
it.
the OJ Charm. There's something in there called the Grimoire,
Mhm.
and I'll send you a photo of it later. They look exactly like them, and what the Grimoire do is they actually suck all happiness out of you,
Mm.
and they put all bad feelings inside you, and they control you by your emotions.
Oh wow. I had a boyfriend like that. I ain't shit. I'm sorry. It's funny. Well, I mean, it could be that, like, I'm leaning towards it being the Black Flash, but no one knows what the Black Flash is. So the Black Flash could be like this grimoire type of creature because no
Mhm.
one knows what it is. Like, the town people there basically said it was a gay guy that was a drag queen that stayed in the town after the summer crowds left. Like
Let's be real.
that's
Some
what
drag queens are scary.
that's what the newspaper said. Like I read the book. I read so much shit on this and I was like, that's homophobic. And I was like, that's problematic. And they were like making up all these things to try to explain what it was, and it was like they were just grasping at straws. Like they really couldn't explain what it was.
Hmm.
They said at one point they said that it had springs, like it had put springs on the back of his shoes to like jump over a 10-foot fence.
Wow.
And I was like, okay. Y'all
Okay,
are
then,
just
Gray.
y'all are just grasping at straws at this point.
Next question for you.
Okay.
Your best plot twist in the AHS.
The best plot twist in AHS. I feel like I'm gonna get shit for this.
Oh God.
Because I feel like a lot of people didn't like Apocalypse,
Uh-huh.
but when Cordelia showed up and was like, "Find our sisters" during
Goosebumps.
Apocalypse, that was it for me. It was that for
I
me.
I have two. We're
Tell
gonna
me.
go all the way back to Murder House. And it was when Violet was dead the whole time.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
And the other one was when Lana comes out of the asylum and Bloodyface is coming down the stairs and like they bump into each other and she gets past him and like, oh my God, my heart's racing. And then she gives him the birdie as she's in the taxi. And I was like, yes, yes.
Yeah, that was a good one too. I don't know why I mean, I guess I know why people don't like AHS Apocalypse, because they found it like kind of rushed and like like stuff not making a lot of sense all the time. But when she showed up like, "Find our sisters," I was like, yes. Oh, and speaking of AHS Apocalypse, I hope that at some point we get some backstory on Mallory.
Ooh.
Like, how is she, like, she's the most powerful witch in the whole entire coven, it seems like. And she just
Mhm.
came out of nowhere. So I would like to know, like,
Where's she from?
where's she from? What bloodline is she, like, what bloodline does she have?
See, when I was watching Apocalypse the first time, I had this whole thing in my head, and it's actually going to come back to double feature.
Mm-hmm.
So you find out Michael is the big bad, and he's obviously the Antichrist from Murder House.
Mm-hmm.
And the opposite to the Antichrist to me is an angel.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously there's two against two, double feature, blah, blah, blah. And that's what it was originally going to be called.
Mm-hmm.
But I honestly thought Mallory was an angel because of when she was all in white and she was sitting in the fields and she made that deer come alive. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, she has to be an angel against the devil. And I thought, God versus the devil. And I was going around this whole route. And I was like, so I was actually quite disappointed that they didn't put anything like that in.
Mm-hmm.
And, and then she ran him over with the Jeep.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would like her, like, I would like to know more about her. So if she is like some kind of, because it does make sense, like good versus
Mhm,
evil, angel versus the devil. So like, what I want to know, like, where she's, like, I need her backstory.
mhm.
I need her backstory. And another thing, somebody had commented on the videos that was really popular. The video that I put out, the last AHS video, they had commented that satanic cults were really big, like, in 1970s.
Mhm.
And like they were really big in cinema, like Satan and satanic cults, and the church versus Satan was really big in the 70s. And one of the
See, there's,
biggest movies was The Exorcist.
oh God. Did you see what I did there? Exorcist God.
Yes. So they were like saying that it was the age of Satan, the 1970s. It's the age of Satan. But I mean I think it's at least one of them is in the 70s.
The thing is, though, if we are focusing on the 70s, does that open the ball game for Ramirez to start his killing?
Obviously. You're damn right.
So are we going to say Ramirez?
I hope not, because he's kind of like, I feel like the witches with Richard Ramirez. Like, I've seen
Hmm.
him in Hotel. I've seen him in 1984. Don't really care to see him again. And I also find it really creepy that there's so many people like that want to fuck him. Like that.
Uh,
Have you seen that? Like,
like, I don't understand people who get wet over murderers. Like, come on now, simmer down. Simmer down.
it's like, come on. He killed people like brutally and children. Like he killed a child too. Like how do you find him hot? Like
But
go to fucking therapy.
the only thing, because I think 84 left it open a bit, was everyone knew Ramirez in the real world was into devil worshipping.
Hmm.
But in 84, he actually had powers and he had the devil in him. So where did all that come from? I would like to know that.
Right, and that was big in
Hmm.
84. Like in the season, the devil and
Yep.
the Satan stuff. Ah, that makes sense. But he wasn't ever active in Massachusetts. So maybe there's going to be something going on in California as well. We know they're filming in LA
Hmm.
now. They filmed in Massachusetts. Now they're filming in LA.
But if they're filming in LA, is it modern LA or is it back way back when?
Or are they even filming LA, like actual LA, or are they filming like on a set?
Hmm. Do you think that that Instagram post that I showed you with Jessica Lang has any credit to it?
I mean, why else is she there?
Hmm.
Why else is she there? But I feel like he would have announced it if she was coming back,
Or is he keeping it a secret?
unless he's keeping it a secret.
So for anyone that doesn't know, it's basically you can go on Ryan Murphy's Instagram, you have a scroll back to when they start showing stuff about this new season of AHS, and there's a Zoom call taking progress, and Jessica Lang's in it. She's got a green circle around it. Obviously, that means she's speaking, but why would he upload it at that point of when she's speaking?
Mm.
And in the quotation, it says back to when we can return for the mothership. And it's like, really? Aliens and Jessica Lang are back? Really?
But the mothership could also be like an actual ship, like what
That's
you're
true.
saying. But mothership does make me think aliens.
Hmm. Plus, if we're going 70s, one of the biggest movies out of the 70s was Alien.
Yeah. And aliens were huge in the 70s. Like everybody was big into aliens and UFOs and like all that shit. All that
Hmm.
alien shit was big then. Like Area 51, Roswell, New Mexico, all of that shit. And then the sand could actually stand for like the desert.
Because I seen that in one of the comments as well today that it could represent the desert, and I was like,
Hmm.
oh,
Yeah. Somebody in the comments said something about if you actually look at the teaser, right? One by the sea, and you clearly see the sea, but it transitions into what looks like a night sky and not actual sand.
oh, that looks like when you get a photo of space.
Yeah, like a galaxy, like, space.
Hmm.
So I was wondering, like, when I saw it, I was like, okay, I can't unsee that shit. Like, I can't unsee it. So maybe aliens, but maybe mermaid aliens, siren aliens.
That are from outer space.
Yes.
But there's also sand in space, though.
Oh, yeah, on Mars.
Uh-huh. It's like a big sandy planet.
Ooh.
So are the Martians.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it.
What is your saddest moment in AHS?
Mm, saddest moment. Saddest moment. There's so many. I think Pepper's backstory was one of the saddest moments of AHS.
Mm-hmm.
Pepper's
I
backstory.
I
Yeah.
agree with that. What's your top 3 seasons?
Top three is Coven, Murder House, and the third one is like so close. Like I really loved 1984, but I also
Mm-hmm.
really loved Hotel. Like I loved
Yep.
Hotel. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Hotel.
Just for the points for Gaga.
Points for Gaga and like those creepy little kids.
Oh no.
The creepy
Well,
little kids.
my 3 would be Coven at the top,
Mm-hmm.
shock. Um, then it would be mm, Apocalypse,
Mm-hmm.
and then one to blow everyone on the water and divide everyone. Roanoke.
Oh God. Roanoke. Really?
I really enjoyed Roanoke. Like, I loved the whole setting of it being like a reality TV show versus the
Mm-hmm.
real thing.
Yeah.
Seeing Lady Gaga as the first Supreme and all of that tying back into different things. And then I'm not gonna lie, I actually jumped in this season. Like, I think it's the Cheng family when they lived in the house.
Uh-huh.
And then when they start crawling on the walls and then they jump out at the screen, no.
It was creepy. It wasn't my Roanoke isn't one of my favorites. Um,
Mhm.
but I didn't like hate it. Like I didn't hate it. Um, I did not like Cult. I didn't like it.
Ooh,
And I know a
no,
lot of people love it, but I didn't like
I
it.
don't like cult.
But I
If
mean,
I,
all of American Horror Story is good. All of it
yeah,
is good. It's just like some seasons are better than others.
yeah. So we know both Evan and Sarah are staples in AHS, but who are their best characters?
Uh I liked okay, so let's do Evan first. I love Tate, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like he was really good. I feel like Kit was good too.
Mhm.
But it's just something about James Patrick March when he plays James Patrick March. I was just like, I love it. I love it
Yeah.
all. So I really liked James Patrick March, but I feel like that's just like on just personal preference. But like as far as in acting, everything, whole package, Tate. Definitely Tate.
Mm, mine for Tate, it would be not Tate for Evan. It would be I love him as the gay hairdresser in Apocalypse.
Yeah.
That's my best acting because I'm not being funny. As a gay person myself, I look at the characters and I'm like, oh, they're just making it a joke and they're not accepting. But he actually studied it. He studied the mannerisms and he got so into character when he was getting whipped and he was enjoying it. That threw me over the edge.
He is a phenomenal actor.
Mm-hmm.
And for Sarah Paulson, you go first. I'll go second.
Oh God. Um, my favorite character of her. Oh, because there's that many. I'll tell you who it's not. It's not her from Roanoke.
Mhm.
Matt. No, no. Um, I might have to go with Sally on this one.
Sally.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, I like Sally.
I like Sally.
That's from Hotel, right? Sally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like her. I mean, she's just so like she just has a wide range of but I'm trying to think. Like I'm torn right now. But I think I'm going to go with the two-headed twins from Freak Show.
Bet and Dot.
Bet and Dot.
Mhm.
Because like she's playing two characters. Like she's playing two characters at once. Like and convincingly.
And that throws me to Ryan's post on Instagram where he says there's parts washing up and then it shows you all the body parts on the sand.
Mm-hmm.
So what's all this about as well?
Ooh, vampire sirens.
Sirens, most definitely.
I think it's sirens. Like at this point, there's gonna be sirens. They may be aliens,
Mm-hmm.
but
As we've touched on, alien sirens.
there's a movie that came out in the 60s that's called Bloodbath, and it's about murderous vampires
Oh God.
that kill young women and boil their bodies.
Well, that's the complete opposite of a siren, really, because a siren is
Are
a
women.
woman that lure the pirates and everyone else out to sea, and then when they start singing, they drown them.
Yep. But maybe there can be male sirens as well.
Ooh. And they don't drown them, they just chop them up.
Maybe. Men are always more brutal. Yeah, maybe. Maybe so. But I want to thank you for coming on and sleuthing with me about American Horror Story. I'd love to have you back when we get some more information.
Not a problem. I'll definitely be back.
Awesome. And everyone listening and watching, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.